is just my very honest opinions.
It's really hard for me to get a hold of nice chenille yarn. The colors are great. It is soft, but man, oh man, it is so...
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda, and if you're new here, I run a small crochet business called The Cotton Florist. And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I am actually going to be reviewing the Hobbii yarn in the Toucan range. So I purchased this yarn at the start of the year. Maybe it was around the start of the year. And it is now November, so I purchased this yarn because it was half price and it was a new range that just came out. I haven't tried their other ranges, only their cotton, so I thought I'll give it a go. So basically this video is going to be split into two parts within the video. So the first part of the video is going to be me receiving the yarn and showing you and comparing you what the yarn looks like, comparable to Hobbii Chunky because that's the yarn I usually use. Talking about the yarn, how it feels on first impressions and how much I paid for it, etc. Then I'm going to be jumping back to the future and I'm going to be telling you my reviews on the yarn. So I had probably spent around 5 or 6 months with the yarn, making lots and lots of things. So I ordered a lot of yarn. So I have a pretty comprehensive rundown on how I feel about the yarn and my opinions. So if you also share the same opinions as me or they differ, please let me know in the comments. I would really love to know what you also think about this yarn and whether you like it or whether you don't like it or whether you don't have really an opinion at all. But I thought I would make this video because it might be useful for someone who is looking at the different types of yarns and wants someone to review it and, you know, give some honest opinions on this yarn. So this is obviously not a paid video in any way. It is just my very honest opinions, very honest and unfiltered opinions. If you've seen any of my previous vlogs, you probably have seen already what my opinion is of this yarn because I have worked with it a lot and I have made passing comments in previous vlogs. So this may not be a surprise to my subscribers who have seen my other videos, but if you are watching this video purely for the review, keep watching. It's pretty comprehensive, so let's just jump into it.
Okay, so today is a pretty exciting video. I've just received an order in the mail, so one sec. So this is an order from Hobbii. So if you guys are familiar, Hobbii is a yarn store located in, I think, the Netherlands. And they have a lot of really nice chenille yarn. I think Snuggle Bunny or Honey Bunny is something that people crochet with often. But because I'm in Australia, it's really hard for me to get a hold of nice chenille yarn or really even cotton yarn that's actually affordable. It's so expensive. The colors are limited and it's not great. So Hobbii recently had a sale. This is not sponsored, by the way. They just had a really great sale, and even with the conversion to US dollars from Australian dollars, it actually worked out really well. So they released a new toucan range, so I'm going to check it out for the first time and you're going to come along with me. So let's see if it's good. Hopefully it is. First bag. Okay, so the colors are amazing. I think they said toucan is, the name of it is because it's inspired by the toucan birds, the bright colors. And the reason I bought so much is because I'm planning to make a bunch of crochet items for the Comic-Con, which is coming up. What's not the Comic-Con, it's a Smash Con in Sydney. It's an anime convention. And I'm wanting to make a bunch of Pokemon, so I needed some pretty cool colors. So amazing. These are actually 100 grams, 120 meters, and I think it worked out to be about 9 Australian dollars. It was like $4.50 US on sale, down from $9 US. It does feel really nice. It does feel very similar to Premier Hobbii Chunky, but a bit smaller. But it looks really nice. Let's see. So I've got 2 orange for Charmander. That's what I'm planning to do with the orange. I didn't have any orange, and I've actually not been able to do a few projects because I'm color limited. Oh my gosh, this color is so nice. So this color is, where does it say the color? It says color 13. Is there a name? There should be a name. There's a lot. Oh, it doesn't have a name of the color? Okay, hang on, let me see if this one does. color 9. Is that normal? Is it not usually a color? I mean, I'm sure I can put the color on the screen anyway from my order because it did have names. But look at this bright fuchsia. It is so pretty. And this really pretty purple. A soft muted pink. I do want to do some like jiggly puffs, of course. Red. I do not have any red. This is actually a really nice red. I was worried. There were a couple of reds and I wasn't sure what they were going to look like in person, and I've totally run out of all reds, so amazing. This is a really nice red and a purple. So I recently made a ditto. I'm not sure if you guys have seen. I did a little YouTube short on it, I think, or an Instagram post, like a reel. And the purple I had was like eggplant from, I think it was the Premier Pape Chunky, and it was like really deep. And it just didn't look like the ditto color. So this is a much more accurate one. So I could probably make a couple of dittos out of this, which is awesome. Okay, so that's it for bag number 1. Bag number 2. Okay, we have brown. I think it might have been called chocolate or coffee. Again, no name on it, but that is a nice brown. Blue. Black. This is for bag 2. They sent it in 3 bags. So last bag. So I also ordered some of their Friends cotton. It was on sale for like $1 US, I think, or $1 something. And I wanted to try it out because I do want to make some more delicate crochet dolls, just like that, some small like Spy Family, just, you know, little anime dolls. And I find that when I make them with the chenille yarn, they get too big and chunky. So I wanted to try some little delicate ones. So I thought I'd just get a couple of colors just to see what they sort of feel like. And they do look really nice. And they are 100 grams, I believe, which is pretty cool because usually, no, it's 50 grams. Okay, yeah, it's 50 grams and 75 meters. And it's the light 3, so Friends Cotton 8 of 8, which is a nice weight. I think it's the heaviest weight of cotton they have, but correct me if I'm wrong. Next we have white, of course, yellow, this kind of like light, I think it's like an oatmeal, more white, oh no, this is ecru, I think. It's like, I'll show you the difference. It's like a soft almond. Can you see the kind of difference? It's like a cream. It's like a really slight difference in there. But that's going to be a lot of the Pokemon bellies. They have like that kind of off-white color. So more yellow. It's quite a bright yellow. I couldn't really tell online. I think this will be fine. I usually use a little bit more of a not so highlighter yellow, but I do have some here. I usually use this color yellow in my bees and things. I don't know if you can tell the difference. Oh, this one is a lot brighter in person. It looks muted on screen. But this is the Velvet, Premier Retro Velvet. I love using it. I use it for most of my items actually. Another blue. This is different. Pairing the 2 different blues, so I will put them on screen as well so you know what the names of these colors are if editing Amanda remembers. Another white, and it's like a coral. This is a really nice coral. So that is the haul. And this is what it looks like all laid out on my bed. It's a lot, but I'm going to use it all. So look at these colors, they're so soft. Actually, I can do a comparison, one sec. Okay, quick comparison, just because I was saying that there is a bit of a difference between Parfait Chunky and the Toucan. So this is the Premium Parfait Chunky here. This is the Toucan. I've actually used a bit of this and you can see the ball is actually slightly smaller even though I've used this. This is brand new. I haven't used heaps of it, but I have used some, and you can see there is a bit of a size difference. Oh, I can tell. But let's have a look at the actual strands themselves. Here we go. So as you can see, the pink is the Parfait Chunky and the purple is the Toucan. There is like a very slight difference in size, but they are very similar actually. The Parfait Chunky does feel thicker, like it actually feels noticeably thicker. The Toucan feels much more thin, like I know it's going to work up much thinner. I'm not sure if I might pull a little bit tighter if you can kind of see Parfait Chunky Toucan. So this is a little thinner, this is thicker, it feels more plush. So let's see how it is. Hopefully it works out nicely. So I thought I'd give you guys an update on how these yarns actually are, how they work, what they feel like, because I've been using them for a few weeks now and I'm able to get a good idea of what they're like. So I thought I would just show you what they actually look like when they're worked up, and talk about them just a little bit, because if you're like me and I'm from Australia, so finding yarn is pretty difficult. And for me to place an order with Hobbii, I had to convert it from Australian dollars to US dollars, which was super expensive because our exchange rate is terrible. So I think I ended up spending like $170 just on, I can't remember how many I got, but it was a pretty big bag of yarn. I also had to wait a little while for it to be delivered. So if you're unsure whether you want to wait and spend that much money, especially if the US conversion isn't too great for your currency and you don't want to take a risk, check out my review, see if it's something you want to try. But I will show you what I've made recently and I will talk about the yarns. This is basically, it's pretty ripped. So it's this one, it's the toucan, and the colors are amazing. Like, look at this. Like, it's so hard to fold it, and this is how thick it is. It's pretty decent. I don't know how to compare it because I've never used Snuggles. People took Snuggle Light. Is it Baby Snuggles Light? I've never used it. So these are my two most recent makes that I've made with the toucan yarn. This is the Squirtle. Isn't it just so cute? This is crocheted by Elle's Pattern. And look, it looks great. Like, it is a nice feeling yarn. It is very soft. And this is my Charizard. No, it's not. It's Charmander. This is my Charmander, not Charizard. So it does feel really nice. But in terms of working with this yarn, it's a nightmare. Like, this is definitely the most weakest yarn I've ever used. I feel like if you are the kind of person that will crochet and then frog your yarn to basically just like undoing your stitches, you cannot do it with this yarn. Like, I have snapped so much of my yarn just by trying to frog it, which is crazy because half of crocheting is just undoing it when you lose count or, you know, you've done something wrong. This yarn you cannot frog. And the few times that I've done it, I've had to hold my breath and hope that it doesn't snap. And half the time it snapped. And it's so hard to then kind of like unpick it to then get enough to tie to then keep going again. So honestly, in terms of working with it, I'd give it like a 2 out of 10. It's just, it catches as well on my crochet hooks. I don't know what it is about this yarn. It catches on my crochet hooks. It catches with itself. So it just like forms like a matted, I don't know what it is, a matted bond when you're trying to undo it. It sheds very badly. I'm trying to think of what to compare it with. So the Premier yarns, I have never had this problem with. The Premier yarns definitely do shed a lot, especially the velvet, the Parfait Chunky. They all shed, but not like this. I also can barely do a magic circle in this one without it snapping. And if, for example, you're trying to finish off and like close a circle, and you have more than 6 stitches that you need to close off by, you know, just putting the yarn through the back loops and then pulling it tight, you cannot do that with this yarn. Like, I've made mistakes by trying to do that. Any other yarn is no problem at all, and it's like the best hack to close a circle nicely, but not with this yarn. Just don't. So I kind of find it really hard to review it positively, other than it looks nice, the colors are great, it is soft, but man oh man, it is so hard to work with. And it does make me wonder, like, if a child was playing with this and they were pulling it, because it is so weak, I feel like it would be much easier for them to snap individual like yarn pieces, pull pieces apart. Like, if you're using that same yarn to sew pieces on and then pull hard enough, it would definitely come off because the yarn is very weak. So anyway, that's just my review. I know some people were probably wondering after I did my big order what it was like, and that's my very honest review. I actually reached out to Hobbii and said, hey, it would be really nice if you could mention that your yarn is super weak. Not in a mean way, but just it would be good for people to know whether it's a kind of yarn that they would be able to undo, like frogging, basically frogging a, you know, something. Can I undo this yarn without it snapping? You know, put some kind of indication as to the strength of the yarn, how much it sheds. Like, but anyway, they didn't reply, they didn't get back to me. They basically just ignored me, which is great because I spent $170 on their website and they just ignored me. But anyway, customer service maybe not the greatest. Maybe it's just my experience, but that's that. I think I'll be continuing to purchase Premier yarns from now on, just because it makes sense for me.
Okay guys, so thank you so much for sticking around. Let me know what you thought of my review, if it was something that you also agreed with or not. So please let me know your opinions on this, and if you have a preferred yarn that you like to use, let me know what it is. Mine personally is Premier Parfait Chunky and also the Premier Retro Velvet. And if you have something different, let me know, because I would love to try different yarns. So thank you so much for sticking around, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.